ahead and call this meeting to order. If everybody would turn off their cell phones out of respect, remove all hats, stand up and have a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The approval of the minutes, do we need to amend those? And if so, how? Okay, since there's no corrections, then I suggest it be accepted.
Can I hear you into the microphone?
Can you hear me now? All right. Not used to holding one of these things.
Where are our stands?
Okay. Correspondence. Ms. Nutter.
To the board members of Brookridge, I'd like to propose a motion to the board at the next meeting that the sign on Brookridge Central, on Brookridge Central will be removed for aesthetic reasons. Our community has become very attractive with the addition of our new front entrance sign that has received a lot of positive feedback from our members. In addition, the painting of the office building and the guard gate has enhanced our community appearance. We should continue our beautification projects by eliminating the wooden signs that make our community look like a trailer park. First impressions make a huge difference to those who may be thinking of buying a home here. Interestingly enough, behind the signs are some very attractive bushes that need to be seen, not hidden. If property owners need to know what weekly events are scheduled, they can read it in the monthly news and views for current activities, or other alternatives would be to go to our cable station or current information regarding club activities. I have driven through Silverthorne and Timber Pines many times and have not seen any signs on their roads. The lack of signs on their roadways does not seem to affect their clubs from what I have heard. These communities look very attractive, classy, and welcome. We are very proud of Brookridge, and we would want to continue looking good. Now is our chance to move forward. Please give this proposal your serious consideration. Thank you. Charles Toffness, Unit 6.
I have the same problem. Okay, are there any suggestions or comments on this? It's open for discussion if anybody would like to say anything about this. Gail?
Yes, the President and I spoke. We had talked about this, and there were some suggestions that came up, and I, as the beautification liaison, I would like to take on this task. And Captain Chu would also have some suggestions for us also, and I will report at the next meeting.
That sounds good to me. Anybody else? Go ahead, Ann.
Um, I don't agree with removing the signs. Maybe we could limit them, not so many coming into the community, but I personally think that when the community drives in there, and I'm guilty of this, I forget about some of the activities, and that just brings it to my attention.
Thank you, Ann.
And if I could just go on that. And what we were thinking was, because I had talked to Captain Schubert, because he does the signs, and people do forget about things that are happening. And we thought if we made it like aesthetically better, the white just is glaring, and we were looking at perhaps changing the color to like a brown, so it's not sticking out, because the programs themselves are the ones that should be showing and not the signs. I would just like to do the suggestions and come back the next month and tell you what we're thinking.
Ann, go ahead.
I thought I mean, I don't mind the color, but I think that maybe there should be, I think there's 6 or 8 signs. I think 3 should be coming into the community and 3 or 4 should be coming out of the community. That breaks up the repetition of the signs as we come into the community. Just a thought.
Captain Schubert, what's your thought on this?
I just think it should be up to the beautification committee to bring a recommendation.
Okay, well then, I'm just going to request beautification. Go ahead, Linda.
The first 2 signs belong to the admin building. That would only leave, 1 sign for everything else if we did that. So just to let you know that the first 2 belong to the admin building.
Okay.
And just, Rich,
Just a concept here. When you look at the signs, and I use one of the signs myself, but we as the people here, they put 2 signs on 1 frame. It looks like hell. What are we? Not even that's not even in my terms. That's not even a trailer park. That's somebody's garage. Having a party. They put a sign up. That doesn't even look professional.
Rich, that's what I was going to say. We'd like to get the signs, possibly get the signs themselves changed, just so that they do look professional.
I always thought maybe we could have I hate to say the word, a marquee. And somebody in the office does the computer work. A lot of places have this. Flashes up, mainly at night. Daytime's okay, but it shows the people, they can look up, drive through, and they're done. They're looking at 8 signs, their eyes are not on the road. Where's their safety at?
I've checked in, if you go 15 there, you can read every single sign. You go 20, 25, you're not going to see them.
Of course not.
Yeah, that would probably be part of the recommendation.
Okay. I will put this on the back burner for right now until the beautification committee has time to look at it and get back with us with some suggestions, okay?
We might be able to get it on the regular agenda for the next meeting.
All righty, that'll be great. All right, now our manager's report.
Good morning. We are streaming live on YouTube this morning, just so you know. So if you're out of town, you are on YouTube. Welcome, and I welcome any comments on the quality audio to office@brookridge.com. Email Vivian at office@brookridge.com. I'd like to thank Mary Sweeney, Peggy Christie, Beverly Epstein, the election committee volunteers, and all our unit representatives for processing the 2020 election ballots. Purchase orders over $2,000 for March. It's $3,800 for Massler and Company for the 2019 audit. $4175.27 to Almost a New Painting for painting the clubhouse roof. Audited financials will be available by April 15th in the admin office for all members, free of charge. Email users will receive a link to a secure site for online access. The Brookridge Veterans Wall will be updated with new photos this Memorial Day. Please submit your facts and photos before May 1st to the front desk of the administration office, or again, you can email them to office@brookridge.com. With the closures, we took the opportunity to hire a contractor to paint the clubhouse top side, eliminating, and that was a continuation, but basically it saved us $10,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Okay, any questions about that report? None? Okay, thank you. Now we'll go on to a board agenda topic, and I think Mrs. Smith has the floor on this. Yeah, it's unfinished business. And,
Mike Clark?
would you give me a heads up?
Not the budget, sorry.
Okay. What I'd like Linda to do is to amend her motion. Okay. The ACC guidelines, decorative fences guidelines to streamline processing. We had quite a discussion on this with the ACC, and instead of adding age, I think we could just put it underneath C there. Just amend the language to C. Because right now it just says, C has a small portion of fence not for enclosure used for decorative purpose may be allowed with ACC written approval. And I think if we would just, instead of having H added into that, we could just make C just a little bit more, just add to C a little bit.
You just want to add with a height of 3 foot,
3 feet, yes,
Right.
3 feet high.
maximum of 3 feet high for decorative fences.
Correct.
And the type of fence also. Why
Yeah.
don't you start it and then we can talk about it.
Okay. The topic is, again, the ACC guidelines, decorative fences. Analysis is update the ACC guidelines to streamline the processing. And the way the topic was written was recommendations, changes to Article 3, Section 3.13, fences. The maximum height of any fence on a lot shall be 6 feet. New items to the guideline as follows. H, a small portion of fence not used for enclosure and used for decorative purposes shall be of a picket or rail type only, not to exceed 3 feet high. The motion is to approve the changes to the ACC guidelines as submitted. Any
Go ahead,
Second it.
Gail.
You gotta second it, so we can talk. She made the motion, I seconded it.
Okay.
I seconded that. When I was reading through this, it's, C is a small portion of a fence, not for enclosure, used for decorative purposes may be allowed with ACC written approval. I would request that we not have an H, but amend C and take away may be allowed with ACC written approval and add shall be of a picket or rail type only not to exceed 3 feet high. And that would be the ACC approval.
Question, is this in the front of the house only? Or
Okay,
4
well-
sides of the house? Is this it about where?
Okay, this is only for decorative purposes. It is not to enclose
No, I
or
say that.
hide anything.
Is it for the front of the lot on the street side?
It could be anywhere.
It could be anywhere.
It's just decorative fencing.
This is just a decorative fence, but it can't, a decorative fence cannot be more than 3 feet high.
Okay, so if I buy a 4-foot fence, I dig it down 1 foot and 3 foot high, right?
Yep,
I want to know.
but that's not for regular fencing.
No, this is
Yeah.
decorative fencing.
And
It
it
can be
has to
4
be
foot
up-
high when I start and 3 foot exposure.
It has to be 3 feet, no more than,
Exposure.
yep, 3 feet exposure.
And it
Yep.
has to be a picket or rail type.
Right, it can only be picket
Yeah,
or rail
it can't
type.
be, you can't take a,
A solid,
well, or a chain link fence and take it from 4 foot to 3 foot.
exactly, they can only be
It has to
picket or
be
rail.
a,
So the people now on some of the roads, they go down, they're over 3 foot. Are they going to be grandfathered in, or they got to change it?
They would have to be grandfathered in. The way that grandfathering works, Rich, is that when the house is sold, how does that work with the grandfathering? If you want to change it, it has to be to code.
Right now, any decorative fence that's out there already has ACC approval under the guidelines that it was approved at that time. So those fences would be allowed to remain. This is strictly going forward.
Exactly. So the fence, if they sell the house, the fence still stays.
That is correct.
If you want to change it, then it has to be out of 3 feet, if there's anything. Is that correct, Captain?
Correct. If you make any changes,
Right.
then you got to come up to the current
Yeah,
guidelines.
so if you have the existing fence at 4 feet, it's okay.
Correct.
I have a question about the parentheses, not for enclosure. I personally think that if you have a flower bed and you have 4 pieces of 3-foot fence around there, I believe that's enclosure. So how does that play into this? I mean, you've got enclosure,
Well, they're enclosing their flower bed, but they're not enclosing their lot.
doesn't say locked,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't say locked.
Good point.
So I'm concerned with the word enclosure. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I want that out of there.
Captain Schubert?
If you look at the architectural guidelines as a whole regarding fences, if you are going to fence in your lot or a portion of your lot, that fencing cannot go in front of the front plane of your home. If you would like to put decorative fencing in front of the front plane of your home, for example, a couple pieces of little fence along a walkway or at the corners of your driveway, that is allowed because it's not an enclosure. What this is going to do is make sure that those pieces of fencing that are decorative in front of the front plane of your home are of picket or rail type and only 3 foot high.
I agree with you there, but this says not for enclosure. My question is, if I want to put flowers, and I want to put 3 or 4 of them, and I want to make a little circle around them with fencing, that's enclosure.
And you cannot do that in front of the front plane of your home under other sections of the ACC guidelines. Any enclosure must start and go to the rear of the house.
Okay, I'm gonna have to read that. I'm sorry, I'm a little negligent on that.
That's okay.
Linda, are you willing to amend your motion?
yes, amend it to taking out or adding it to C of the architectural guidelines, Article 3, to read, a small portion of a fence, not for enclosure, used for decorative purposes, shall be of a picket or rail type only, not to exceed 3 feet high, with ACC written approval.
Okay.
Drop that with ACC.
Okay, drop the ACC approval.
Yeah, that's not part of the motion,
Okay.
the ACC application.
I'm willing to second that amendment.
Okay. Gail amended, Linda amended her
Okay, motion.
motion, and Gail's second that. Can I have a vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So her vote is going to be no.
6-1 motion passes.
Okay, the next board agenda topic is the rubber mulch, submitted by Mark Keller. It's unfinished business. Topic, ACC guidelines update. The analysis is rubber mulch is no longer prohibited as trash. I recommended that rubber mulch delete rubber mulch and will not be allowed anywhere on the properties from section 3.05. And it should be delete rubber mulch is not acceptable and insert mulch is allowed as landscaping accent material but may not be used as a replacement for sod or grass. Example, xeriscape materials to section 3.38.
Question.
Motion.
Make a motion first.
Make a motion
I don't
pass.
need to vote.
Mark, reading the motion.
Just say.
Sorry, I got to.
The make Yeah.
All right, I'm asking for,
So you motion, what's your motion? Yeah.
a motion to approve the changes as submitted to Article 3.05 and 3.38 of the Brookridge ACC guidelines.
I'll second
Okay? Now, discussion, any discussion on this?
Just one quick question. Under insert, I would suggest, it says mulch is allowed as landscaping accent material. I would suggest we put rubber in front of that, rubber mulch.
No, mulch is mulch.
Rubber mulch is.
Mulch is mulch, okay, oh, okay, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, we
Okay,
did our
just-
homework on it, it's Florida friendly.
Yes.
It's not toxic waste is what people were thinking at one time, so we decided to squelch the situation.
I agree.
And the two people who were filed an appeal are now okay, they don't have to worry about
As
that?
soon as you approve it.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have a show of hands in favor of
I have
this?
one question.
Okay.
If we take this out of all our paperwork, it's gone. The rubber mulch will read nowhere as far as being prohibited.
Correct.
Correct.
As long as it's not the
I don't know about that. I said just rubber mulch.
Yeah.
I didn't say xeriscape or landscape, rubber mulch. So everything in our paperwork here that we've run on for 6 years, we just obliterated, it's gone. These people get the fine, I mean, there'll be no fine.
There is no fine.
Right, done. Done, right, done.
Fines
Yeah,
To
but-
me, it was a waste of time, excuse me, a waste of time.
Captain Schubert, didn't you tell me that nobody was fined?
There is currently nobody that has fines on the books for rubber mulch due to the motion that was made by, I believe it was Director Sajak at the time. Enforcement of the current guidelines is on hold until January 1st of 2021. If this gets approved, this would supersede that motion, and basically anybody who has rubber mulch in now is allowed to keep it. They just cannot use it as a ground cover.
All right, any other questions? Okay, can I get show of hands of approval on this? It's unanimous. Okay, thank you. It's passed.
So that December 31st issue is gone.
Gone.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I guess we'll go on to new business. Front sign landscaping contract, Mrs. Smith. It's okay if I just call you Linda.
Please,
Okay.
thank you. The topic is the front sign landscaping analysis. Review the attached quotes for landscaping of the front sign. The recommendation is the beautification committee recommends the bid from Adventura Landscaping and will contribute $1,000 towards the project. Motion to accept the quote of $4,856.06 from Adventura Nursery and Landscaping for landscaping the front sign paid from donated funds.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a second by Gail. Any,
Oh, no, yes, I would like to.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Seconded by Gail Metcalf. I would like to, in light of the information that I received, I did research, and I believe I spoke with I gave all the information to my board members, and I spoke with Ed Baines, who is the chairman of the beautification committee. They were not able to investigate and research the 3 landscape quotes. They just took the first quote, because that was the cheapest, but upon investigation, the quote from Aventura would not be $4,856 because that did not have any mulch. The mulch would be, I called them, and the mulch would be a minimum of $500. So their quote would be $5,356. Unique Landscaping was the highest. It was a beautiful, very well done, very professional, but that would be $8,525, and we don't have that type of money. When I spoke to PEX, and what I did was Karen Keaton from the Beautification Committee, she is one of our experts on plants. They're a very good resource. We went and spoke with Jim Peck over at Peck's Landscape over on Grove Road over there, not close to us. He's willing to work with us to keep the costs down. His original design was $7,441. He is, we couldn't do all of that because he was going to do decorative stone and everything. It would look beautiful, but he said that he could get the quote down, and when he spoke to us yesterday, his quote would be $5,069. He's come recommended by a couple of other landscapers, and he got very good reviews on the internet. So I would ask Linda if she would amend her motion to accept the quote of $5,069 from Peck's Landscapers Inc.
Yes, I would be willing to amend my motion to go with PEC's.
And I will second that amendment.
Okay. Any other
I
questions?
got some questions. In the diagram I see here, I went over every plant possible. The lower pedalum, they said cone. I've never seen a cone. I've been in the garden club in town for 6 years. I've never seen a cone flower of that sort, I should say bush. So I could research that. And also, the blue or hybrids, those require a covering in the wintertime, the frost. Who's going to cover them?
Okay, number one, the cone, he said that he would make them a cone. They're about this high.
I know that, I know that.
And he's already, that's where the cone, it's the cone shape, not the name of it.
I know. If you stop by the house, I'll show you what they look like. They grow out. They don't stay cone shaped, they grow out.
Yes, and we have to, I believe that there would be 3 of them, and the maintenance department and beautification would be taking care of them. You do have to trim, I mean, there is work that needs to be done, and the beautification committee, there are those of us in the beautification committee that would take care of that every month.
And what about covering for the frost?
If we have a deep frost, we would be covering them.
We have a frost every year. 32 degrees at night, you cover them.
They can go down to 20, they're guaranteed for down to 20 degrees. I have them, I cover mine, I just take them off during the daytime.
So is it written that it'll be good to 20 degrees?
20 and 25 degrees, yes.
Is it written somewhere? Have you got a
I
guarantee?
looked it up. That's when I did my research. That was part of the difficulty I had with unique landscaping, was most of the ones that they talked about have to be cut down. The foxtail fern is not drought resistant. We want things like that. You know, we need drought resistant up there at the front gate, at the front sign, because we can't be there every day doing that. That's dangerous, and we don't have the manpower. So I guess that this is a plea for more manpower in the summertime for the beautification committee.
I understand. But again, is it written somewhere if it goes down a certain degree, they're going to cover it if it dies?
That is something that that is not part of the quote. That is part of the business of Brookridge. That is not part of the quote itself. Now, Mr. Peck did say, because we asked him about a couple of different things there, and he said that he would work with us and keep that quote where it is, if we wanted to make some changes. But what it would be, when you look at the diagram, that almost figure 8 around, that would be the blue flowers. And so you have the red, and you have the gold around the red, because those plants are really nice. And then you've got the blue that would be around there. And then we would have red on either side as a form of a high bush.
No problem.
Will this be giving us color kind of year-round, Gail?
Yes, and that's what we were going for.
Okay, awesome.
But one more thing, the watering system. It says going to be maintained. Has somebody purged the system? Has somebody worked the system, make sure everyone is working fine? And when they get done with the height of everything, are they going to lower it down to get the roots, not the leaves?
That is something that the maintenance that Public Works will be doing. We've talked to Billy, and you can't put them up or down yet. You just keep them at the height, and then as we go along, we need to know, once we know where the plants are, then they can be adjusted.
Okay, our watering scheduling, usually people water in the early morning and late night. Are we going to water twice a day for the first 30 days?
Absolutely.
Is there a timer set up for that, or we got to go back every?
No, that is the Public Works.
I know, but is it ready to roll?
It can be set up for that. It can be set up to come on twice a day. It's a rain bird. I have one of those at my house.
I know. I just want to make sure the system is
Yeah,
purged.
no, that's yeah, we've already researched that too. Which, good questions though, so the public knows too.
Any other questions? Go ahead and vote on this then. Okay, so do I have a show of hands on this that will approve
Excellent.
for Peck's Landscaping? I'm sorry. It looks like it's unanimous. So it passes. Okay. Next thing we've got on the agenda is the road paving contract. We got we had 3 sealed bids came in, and Heather was there, I was there, and so was Mr. Giroux and Dennis. And we opened the bids and looked at them all and everything, and the best one was the bid from Azeli Paving, and it was a total of $143,799.14. They are licensed, bonded, and insured, and they've been part of this plan, and from what I understand, we've never had any complaints with their work. So I would propose a motion to approve Azalea paving for up to $143,799.14 paid from reserve funds 9230-12 site elements. Is there any questions on this?
Second, I'll second.
Okay, Gail seconds it. Any questions on this? Gail?
I have a couple of comments. I'm glad to see that with the contract in here. And one thing that, so we can let the public know, all the members know that Azarelli has agreed to not be paid any money until the completion of the work.
Correct, I was going to get to that.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to?
No, go ahead while you're on
The
the
other-
roll.
The other thing that I'm very happy about is that under subcontractors, it says the contractor shall fully pay any subcontractor. So we will not be responsible for any workers should something go wrong.
Right, and
That's number 6 on the contract.
also the, until he gets done striping where the stop signs are at and everything, he won't get paid anything. We don't have to give him any money down to
Right.
start this. We're paying it to him as soon as he gets finished.
And the other thing I just want to let the members know is that under the liability waiver, and this is something that we always have anyway, but I want people to understand, the customer, which is Brookridge, is exempt from liability of any injuries to the contractor's employees, the contractor's agents, and the like. So I just wanted to point that out to the membership here in Brookridge also.
Right, and
Thank
Azarelli
you.
did also provide us with a certificate of insurance as well. So it makes us hold harmless when it comes down to it. So I would like to have, I'd like to make this motion that we accept Azarelli. Any other discussions? Okay, can I have a show of hands to accept this contract? All right, it's unanimous. Thank you very much. Now we go to the clubhouse floor ad hoc committee. Mrs. Smith. You don't have that? I'm sorry. It's clear at the end of the proposals there.
My
It's right after
sheet
the
shows,
plat.
my sheet shows Clubhouse Floor Ad Hoc Committee.
Hmm.
You can do it.
I don't know.
I wasn't part of it
Okay.
then, so
I
I just
see.
thought maybe you'd be able to do that.
Okay, the topic is Clubhouse Floor Ad Hoc Committee. Analysis and review options for repairing or replacing the clubhouse flooring and report back to the Board of Directors with recommendations. The recommendation is appoint Rosemary Basteri and Wayne Markham to convene a committee of 3 to 5 members to provide viable solutions to repair or replace loose clubhouse floor tiles. Motion to approve the clubhouse floor ad hoc committee.
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Dennis. Any discussion on this? Yes, Ian.
I'm all for this, but I want to make sure that before any work is done, I don't care if it's pulling up one tile, I think that the board needs to be involved. We need to make sure that this is not some fly-by-night people without insurance, not licensed, not somebody's friend or mother or father. This is a serious liability that we have on our back that we've been carrying for quite some time. I'm sure that the board is, I hate to use this word, ashamed of the turnout of this floor.
Well, yeah, I think the homework wasn't done on being bonded, and licensed, and so forth.
So now we need to be vigilant about this.
Oh, we're going to be.
Okay.
All contracts will be
Um,
reviewed by the board, and I would also suggest that Gail be part of this ad hoc committee. And anybody else that would like to volunteer, as long as it's okay with Rosemary.
It's okay with me as liaison to
Yeah.
Do we have a timeline on this? Are we gonna, next 90 days, 60 days?
this. I would say like to start. Microphone, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
I keep forgetting to do that.
I forget to do a lot of things too.
Yeah. I would suggest that the president suggests that we have an initial report within 30 days. At least we would have the ad hoc committee get to, at least start the process in 30 days and just see what the timeline will be, because we honestly don't know what.
Rosemary, what's your thoughts on this?
30 days?
Yeah.
Like,
I would actually rather have it 60 days so I can get in touch with everybody.
I agree with
So
you.
I have to
I
talk to
agree.
Wayne. Wayne had people that he was gonna let me know. So, 60 days, please.
Yeah, let's
60
just
days
go with
is
the
fine.
60 days.
I would actually like the board to be notified by email every step of the way, please.
All right, that can be done. It's not a problem.
And I have no problem with it. Thank you, I appreciate it.
I got a question on this. The committee, are they gonna go out and look at establishments that have this tile already, different buildings out here that did it for years, and who installed that products? Other buildings?
Right now, I have not been able to get in touch with Wayne. I have to talk to him because he was the one that initiated this. We'll see what we can do. I think we should. That would be prudent for us to check other contractors and the work they've done. But we are not under any obligation from this flooring company because it was installed improperly. So that's,
I would suggest, if I may, Rosemary, I would suggest that any questions that all of us have, that we address those questions to Rosemary, so when she starts the process, that those are questions that we want to make sure that we can, that we make sure that we address, along with other things that may come up with Wayne and whoever the other two people would be on the committee. So I would strongly, instead of doing it here, because she's not gonna, she'd have to write everything down. So it might be a good idea to have anybody who has questions to, send the email to all of us, and then Rosemary would have that information, and then Mr. President would also be in the loop every step of the way.
Correct. Now, if you flip your page there on the board agenda, there's a letter there from Wayne Bascom that I hope everybody read. Barcom. Okay. I guess I need new glasses too. So, we got a proposed motion to approve the Clubhouse 4 ad hoc committee. Any other discussion on this? Show of hands, please. It's unanimous, it passes. Thank you very much. Next topic is going to be presentation of wildlife / coyotes, and this was submitted to me, well, not to me, it was on my desk when I took office, from a Karen Stoffel. And Linda, did you want to speak on that? I'm sorry.
Okay, the topic is wild coyotes and safety information. The analysis is provide residents with additional information on wild coyotes. The recommendation is allow the Florida Wildlife Representative Rhonda Duthet to provide information on wild coyotes and safety information in the event you encounter one in Brookridge. The motion is to approve a presentation on wild coyotes presented by the Florida Wildlife Commission in the Brookridge Clubhouse. Date and time to be announced.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on this? Gail?
These are presentations and such like our town hall meetings really should be generated from the board of directors. And I would request that somebody be the liaison to this so that person can be the point person for the town hall. Because this would be a town hall meeting and those are presented by the board, they're from the board of directors.
Alrighty, do we have any volunteers to be in liaison for this? How about Rich?
I'll take it.
You're a good man. Thank you.
Here's the reason. These are animals that were here first.
Yeah.
We're second.
Exactly.
And the people here, and I don't want to say anything, they feed these animals. You feed the birds. Excuse me. The other things you feed. You feed them. So if you're the animal, what would you do? You go somewhere else? You let your dog out at 1 o'clock in the morning, a 3-pound dog. Don't get me wrong. What's going to happen to that dog? It's a coyote. He's an animal.
Yeah.
The people have to be well-versed, but they're not going to come here and sit down and listen to us or somebody talk about their rules for their house. Their rules for their house, not the community. Rest my case there. I'll do that, but I can't change these people when they have the rules for their house.
Point taken.
Mr. President.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
President, I'd also, based upon our COVID-19 and what we're going through now, that this not be a public forum, but it be a televised, if we had this, where there's a presentation made by this individual and it's broadcast so everyone can see it, and then maybe that we could set up some form of communication that people could email in questions, or there's a way to give feedback electronically to someone helping them make this presentation if we decide to go that route.
All right, we'll take that into consideration. This person was, Mrs. Stockel, said sometime in October. And I think, hopefully by then, this coronavirus thing is going to be over with by then.
That, if I may, this wildlife representative, Rhonda, I believe that she took a part in that. They don't want to have anything, they're hoping by October, the end of October, that this will be over and we can have presentations again. They won't do any presentations at this time.
Right. So I would recommend that we just put this on the back burner.
No, I think that we can still do this. That's why we want a liaison, so that so Rich will, by the summertime, he can.
Do you know Karen Stockel?
I'm going to say no. He smiled.
Date and time to be announced.
Yeah, the date and time is to be announced.
Yeah.
All right.
But like I said before, you can have all the meetings we want, everything else, information, safety, but the people will not abide by it. And we know that personally. We know that.
We do. What I think. Yeah. Okay. This is what I'm going to say. However, I think it's a very positive thing because people don't understand the coyotes and the wildlife. And I think this type of a presentation will put a positive spin. I know a lot of people want to get rid of them. And with this presenter, this is a person that does the wildlife, it works with them, and they will give a positive spin on that. And I think that's where it would be helpful, Rich.
Very good. I appreciate that.
Can I see a showing of hands on this? Who's in favor of it? It's unanimous. It's passed. Okay. Cheat sheet out here. Members' comments. I got a letter from a lady, of Miss Aline Wise, and I just wanted to read it to y'all.
Did you want the member comments first?
President.
Director, board of directors?
Yes, first you want to do report of directors, and then
I
we
missed
save,
one. I'm sorry.
we save the best for last. You
Okay.
talk after they do.
Okay, can we have the report of the directors? And is there anybody that has anything to report? Okay. Dennis?
I have nothing.
Miss Rosemary?
I have nothing at this time.
Miss Gail?
I have not met with any of my clubs, so I have nothing at this time.
Okay, Miss Nutter?
I would just like to say thank you again to the unit reps for a marvelous job with the election. Coming in, and it was the beginning of the virus, and their effort to get everything done timely. Thank you very much.
Okay, Linda?
I just had a comment from the ACC committee that they are in desperate need of some volunteers for the ACC committee. So if anybody out there is interested in serving on the ACC committee, please go and put in your resume at the admin building. And it's very informative, it's enjoyable, and I'm sure that you would find it very beneficial and would enjoy it. So again, the ACC, the Architectural Control Committee, is looking for volunteers. Thank you.
Mr. Rich?
I picked up one for you, and I'll have it down there tomorrow to take care of that. Question is, we're with this, the 10 people rule, 6 foot apart, whatever you want to call it. Am I right in saying that? In this community? I noticed that up in the pavilion, they don't do that.
Well, we had signs put up.
They don't read them.
Yeah, and here's the thing. If they don't read them, then we're going to close the pavilion completely down.
If I could just say, they just put those signs up.
Yeah.
They just put them up.
But don't they have the reasoning in their mind, some of these people, that there is we have a 6 foot ruling in Brookridge?
Yes, we do, but when I talked to Vince about it the other day, he said he was going to monitor it, and he was going to, there's more than 10 people in that pavilion, he's going to go out and say something to them, and if they keep doing it, then we're just going to shut it down.
Well, I'll say one thing. I can watch them right from my house. If there's more than 10, I'm going to tell them, get out, you're done. I want your approval. It's 10 people.
You can't do it as a director.
It's 10 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to
They
get
laugh
a
at
hold
you.
of Vince.
They
You
laugh
have
at
to get a
you.
hold
You
of
have to get a
Vince.
hold of Vince. Or code enforcement,
Yeah,
yes.
code enforcement.
Code enforcement, yes. Because now it's a violation.
No, it's not.
It's not a violation?
No.
It's not a violation of our governing documents.
Well, it's signage.
If there's more than 10 people that are accumulating someplace, that's up to the state and the county to enforce the governor's order. It's not up to Brookridge to enforce that order.
That's right, you have to call the police.
Right.
I'm sorry?
Call the police then.
Yes.
So simple.
Please do. I mean, everybody's got to think about everybody in this situation, and if they can't do it, I heard people were laughing about that sign that Vince put up, and I told Vince, I said, put a sign up on everything out there that you can, because, people laughing at us as a board of directors concerned about their health and welfare, and they're laughing at us about this, that's a slap in the face, and I don't like it.
Right, they have their own rules. They don't follow a set rule, I should say, that we heard through the president all the way down. We take care of ourselves, safety and health. They don't do that. They take care of us.
Well, that is why, thank you, Captain Schubert, I forgot about that. Sorry, Yeah, that is
I'm glad to
from
see
the
I'm not
CDC.
the only person that makes a mistake.
Oh, yeah, oh, goodness, we all do. Exactly. So for the membership, if you see more than 10 people up here coming together, don't call code enforcement, don't go up to enforce it yourself. That is a came from the CDC and from the White House. That is for the county to come up and take care of.
Okay, any other discussions on this? Rich?
Well, if I call, I'm gonna be the vigilante, I'm gonna be a bad guy.
Well, you know, you seem
I'm
to
gonna be a
enjoy
bad
it.
guy.
Somebody's got to be it. Okay, Rich, just one thing. You always want to, remember, you can't say you're a director. That's all. You are a member of Brookridge, and they are breaking the law that the president put down. They're being very vigilant about that, but you can't call as a director.
I
That's,
won't.
okay, that's the
I'm a
only thing.
veteran, and I'll tell them it's for my life, for my safety. I'm a veteran.
There you go.
All right, thank you. Okay. I guess, yes, ma'am. I can't see your name. Beverly.
Beverly Epstein, Unit 6, also Chair of the Unit Reps. I'd like to welcome all our new residents. We have many new forms, but due to the quarantine, we're unable to visit you at your home. As a reminder, when the quarantine is over, if you would call Vivian and make an appointment to meet with Betty to have your interview, and then we will follow through and have interviews with many of our new residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything to report over there, sir?
I would, please.
Would you take that mic over to him, please? Would you state your names? Because I'm...
Yeah, hi, I'm Paul Campbell, Unit 2, even though it says 01. I only have two comments with the flooring, the ad hoc committee. I would hope that we have a flooring specialist on that committee and not just a bunch of people on there.
Right,
I
right.
think that would go a long way.
Well, I'll give you a copy of this, Wayne's...
I have it.
You got it?
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
and he suggests the same thing.
Okay. And to Rich's comment, I walk every morning, and the other day there were 19 people in the pavilion, and I'm not going to point fingers, but they were all golfers. I know the golf, they can still golf, but there were 19 of them in that pavilion.
All right, I will contact Ken Laughlin about that because he's the president of the Golfers Association, and I will talk to him about that and see what how he can help me out to take care of this problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now, if I haven't made any more mistakes, can I go down to the member comments now?
Yes.
I mean, there's no members here or anything. I just want to talk, yeah. I got a letter received from Ellen Wise, and I'm just it's placing a slow down sign on the boulevard. Dear board members, how do we get about getting a sign placed on Midmore Boulevard to slow down the traffic coming down the hill along the golf course and private homes that are heading to Brookridge Boulevard? Many times we've witnessed residents as well as commercial vehicles coming down the hill at excessive speed. We just had one accident, and to make this sign happen before another more serious accident happens. Thank you for taking this matter and giving us residents peace of mind. Well, I talked with Ray and Captain Schubert, and we agreed that we will put a sign there that says slow down.
I got a comment. They're oblivious to stop signs. They don't see them. You know that. They have their own rules.
Yeah.
So there's a place here in town that has a sign called Whoa. Now you laugh.
No, I think that's.
They stop. Can they see it? They slow down. It's whoa. If you're taking a horse in a carriage, whoa. They slow down. The stop sign, they don't see stop signs. I'm sorry, they don't see them.
I think that's a great idea, Rich.
Yeah, really.
Where is that? Where is that?
Right by I want to say, the oil change shop next to Country Kitchen has it in their back lot going out.
Oh, okay.
It says, whoa, stop sign there, but everybody says, geez, the low sign.
Why don't you get one of those flashing signs?
That still wouldn't stop them.
As a walker, I'll tell you, I do not walk down that road. You're taking your life in the hands. The sun is coming down in the driver's face. They don't care. They're speeding. They don't move out of the way. It's ridiculous. It's dangerous. And I've said it many times.
Well, we're going to do some cracking down on the speeding and the stop sign misuse here in Brookridge. So I just want to let Ms. Ellen know that we're going to be taking care of this, putting the sign up. Huh? Eileen Wise.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd also weigh in on that, you can put up all the signs you want. I would kind of guess with Captain Schubert that we probably have maybe close to, 500-700 signs throughout Brookridge, all over. We put up signs everywhere, speed limit signs, slow down signs, stop signs, all the signs, without some kind of enforcement to back up those signs. People pay no attention to them. I'm just not for putting up 2,000 signs. That's just 2,000 more that won't be recognized. You've got to have something to back that up. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Do we still have that rubber piece that you can measure the speed limit? Is that thing still in operation? Let's bring it out, please.
Yeah, I can put it up on the door.
Thank you.
If we try, this is just a funny joke as it is. You put that sign wall somewhere, one sign, and you see people tell other people about it. Did you see that sign? 2 till 4, 4 till 8. What's it there for?
Get a sign with small letters.
They gotta look at it. They're gonna tell people about it. Come on. If you could put real small in there, if you stop by the office, you receive $10. I did that for business already, believe it or not. But I say, it gives us something to talk about, because we know that everybody has their own rules in their house and in their car. Thank you.
I'd just like to piggyback on Midmore, that where the golfers, where they're supposed to cross at the golf cart crossing,
Right.
they don't stop at that stop sign coming off the golf course. I had to stop one day because there was 4 of them, went right through that stop sign, across Midmore to the other side of the golf course.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of golfers do stop, and
Most of them do, but
yeah, and
occasionally
there's a
sit
few
there
of
and-
them that they, like
And there's
Rich
one.
says, the rules don't apply to them.
There is one, and I've seen him several times, instead of going to the cross area, he just comes around the big tree and just cuts across Midmore.
That's
On the
probably
green.
because his ball is over there. He doesn't have to go by the.
But I've seen him just come out and just come around that big tree.
Yeah, if you can
And
get your
just-
cart number and give it to Captain Schubert, he
I
can
will.
take care
I
of
will
it.
try to do that.
All right.
I don't want to hit a golfer. I really don't.
I don't want you to hit me either.
Beverly has a question. Beverly has a question.
Oh, Beverly, okay.
Not about speeding, I was wondering if Republic could be called and ask them to slow down their trucks. As a unit rep, I've had several phone calls of people complaining that the trash trucks just speed terribly.
Yes, I do. I've noticed that myself. One thing we need to do is, as just not board members, but members of the community, make them aware if we see vendors not stopping at a stop sign, whatever, write their names down and turn it into the admin office so we can try to crack down on these people. And I've got something in place that I'm not going to bring up at this time, because I want to talk to my board one-on-one about this. And it's a good idea, and at least I think it's a good idea, but I think if I talk to them one-on-one and get a census, then we can implement this and get it in place, and it's going to stop these vendors from speeding and rolling through the stop signs. I live on the corner of Scepter and Admiral Street. And I'll tell you, nobody stops at that stop sign there. My own girlfriend lives across the street from me, and she rolled around it, and I chewed her out about it, so I didn't get dinner that night. So I think I've got something in the works, and I hope that my board will back me up on it, and we'll just have to go from there. Is there any more comments that somebody would like to make?
Mark,
Yes,
I
dear.
just want to commend Ray Rowe and Billy for putting up that barrier for Vivian at the admin office. Gail and I were discussing this years ago when we were together when she was president, that Vivian needed some kind of safety barrier, and I'm glad it's there now, and I hope people don't take offense to it, but it keeps Vivian safe.
Yes, it does. It does. So, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it. I'll make a motion.
All right, Linda makes the motion. And Ann seconded it before Linda got it out.
Show of hands.
Okay.
I broke the nail.